I came home expecting to pull straight into my driveway. Instead, an enormous construction crane was parked across the entrance. Karen stood beside it like she owned the property. Then she pointed at my truck and said, "You're not getting through." I asked Karen why a construction crane was sitting on my property. She told me the HOA had approved temporary construction access. I reminded her that my driveway was privately owned. She simply smiled and said, "The HOA made a decision." The crew didn't stop working. They continued moving equipment through the area as if nothing was wrong. Every minute the crane remained there made the situation worse. Then I noticed they had never shown me a single permit. I asked Karen to show me the permit authorizing crane on my driveway. She told me the HOA board had already handled everything. I asked again for the actual permit number. Her expression changed when she realized I wasn't backing down. Karen told the crew to ignore me and keep working. She said the HOA office would handle any complaints. But I wasn't interested in another argument with the HOA. I pulled out my phone and made one call. I called the County Construction Enforcement Office. I gave them my address and explained exactly what had happened. Then I provided the crane's location and the project information. The person on the other end suddenly became very interested. The official asked me one simple question: "Who authorized the crane?" I told him the HOA claimed it had approval. He paused and checked the county records. Then he said, "Sir, nobody authorized that equipment on your property." Minutes later, the construction supervisor's phone rang. He listened silently, then looked toward the crane. The workers immediately stopped what they were doing. Karen demanded to know who had ordered them to stop. 2 county inspectors arrived less than 20 minutes later. They immediately examined the crane's location and the construction paperwork. Karen tried explaining that the HOA had approved the project. The inspectors weren't interested in the HOA's opinion. They wanted permits. The inspector finally delivered the decision. The crane had to leave my driveway immediately. More importantly, the entire construction project was being placed on hold pending review. Karen had tried to block my driveway with one crane. One phone call had stopped everything. Karen demanded to know why the county had stopped her project. The inspector calmly explained that HOA approval wasn't a substitute for county authorization. She insisted the project had already been approved by the board, but the inspector had already seen enough problems to disagree. The inspectors checked every permit connected to the project. They compared the construction plans with the county records. Then they discovered something Karen hadn't expected. The crane placement wasn't the only problem. The site plan showed the construction boundary clearly. My driveway wasn't part of the approved work zone. Karen had apparently allowed the crew to use private property without authorization. That mistake had now become part of the official inspection record. Karen immediately blamed the construction company. She claimed the contractor must have misunderstood her instructions. But the supervisor disagreed. He said the HOA had specifically directed them to use my driveway. Then one neighbor stepped forward with a video. She had recorded Karen directing the crew toward my driveway that morning. The footage contradicted Karen's explanation completely. For the first time, Karen had nothing to say. The crane operator finally started moving the machine. My driveway slowly came back into view. After hours of being trapped behind construction equipment, I could finally access my own property again. Karen watched the entire thing happen without being able to stop it. Then the inspectors posted the official suspension notice. The entire project, not just a crane, was temporarily shut down. Every contractor had to leave until the county completed its review. Karen's shortcut had turned into a major construction delay. Karen walked over and told me I had made a huge mistake. She warned that the HOA would take legal action against me. I simply asked her one question. Why would you sue me for protecting property that I legally own? The HOA board eventually had to review the evidence. They saw the permit records, the property boundary, and the video of Karen directing the crew. The board members realized the project had been handled recklessly. Karen's authority suddenly wasn't looking so powerful anymore. By sunset, my driveway was completely clear. The construction project was officially suspended pending a full review. Karen had believed the HOA could simply take over my property for convenience. But one phone call proved that private property rights still mattered.